Oh,
Holy shit, there he
holy
is.
shit.
Hell
Holy
yeah.
shit.
What's up, Antonio Banderas?
Oh, oh, dude. Yeah, I like that.
Fucking handsome motherfucker.
It looks like you're muted.
Yeah, you're muted, bro.
Can you hear me?
Yep,
Yeah.
there he is. Welcome
There you
aboard.
are.
Give me a minute to get it set up.
Yeah, I mean, take your time, man. We're in no rush. We ain't doing anything.
I'm not
We
doing
were,
anything.
we were sipping. I was sipping on the pipe, the old tobacco pipe. Been a while. How the hell are you?
Oh my God, I haven't seen you in forever. How are you? Life sucks. It's good to see your face, man.
You too, dude. Been forever.
It's been
When
too
was the
long.
last time you guys saw each other?
Last time I was in Louisville, which was I don't know when the hell that was. That was I don't know 8 years ago, maybe.
Wow. Dave's like,
I have no concept of time, so I mean, it could have been 3 years ago or 10 years ago. I can't really remember.
are you doing the dishes there, boy?
Yeah, enjoy the show. I'm going to be washing some dishes during this.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I knew I was going to get some entertainment. What's you got any good dishwashing music there, Ryan? Can you back him up with the
I'm no John Baptiste. I can't. I can't just do dishwasher. I don't know. I mean, Bach is always good dishwashing music, but you know.
Dave, what have you been listening to? What's in your rotation the past few days?
Oh, I've been listening to a lot of like sort of 80s synth pop, new wave kind of shit.
Give us an example. Is there a particular
I was listening to this band called Fiat Lux earlier today.
you got Lux?
Fiat Lux. They got a song called Blue Emotion. It's a pretty good jam. Rocking
Sweet.
that on the way home from work.
I would say play it, but we don't have
that up. I don't know that.
Say that again.
No, I'm just gonna pull it up on my end. I have no way to play it. We got to figure that out.
Show me the wiki.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll pull up the wiki.
I told you I got that. You saw my tricycle, right, Dave?
Yeah.
I got a tricycle, Ryan. I've been riding a bicycle. You know?
No way.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. But I take a Bluetooth speaker with me. I've been listening to Art Blakely a lot while I'm riding a bicycle. It like fits perfectly for some reason.
Those jazz messengers got it going on.
Dude, I don't know why. I think it was you that got me started listening to him. Oh shit!
Aww.
What is that cat's name?
That's Meryl.
Oh, okay.
Meryl's
got a mustache, right?
Yeah, sort of.
A little Hitler going.
Always kind of like Joker makeup.
Oh yeah.
How's Molly?
Pretty good. She's in there watching a horror movie.
Oh, nice. Have you seen anything good lately, movie-wise?
Movie-wise, but have you ever seen the show The Righteous Gemstones? It has like Danny McBride in it and Walton Goggins. It's really funny. We just watched all of those recently.
Oh no, I gotta check that shit out. Danny McBride's fucking hilarious.
It's on HBO Max.
Okay.
Dude, I actually currently have a subscription to that.
Me too. Disney Plus action.
Righteous Gemstones. Okay, yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's really good.
I haven't even seen it pop up on the feed. But dude, yeah.
Yeah, dude, this pandemic.
It has John Goodman. Oh my God, yes, please.
Freaking great.
Hell yeah. Righteous what?
Gemstones.
They're like a Christian televangelist family, a super rich family. Danny McBride plays a preacher.
Let me.
But it feels cathartic. It's not like uncomfortable to watch.
Cathartic.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
He was in Vice Principal.
I mean, I would imagine if you're watching it, it would be cathartic.
Yeah, just plain funny.
Yeah.
Did you see that? The Vice Principals? I think that was also HBO.
Yeah. You would probably like this if you like the Vice Principals.
Oh, for sure.
Down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Foot Fist Way.
Yeah.
Good shit. I've been craving content. Like, there's not enough content right now. It really bothers me. Like pandemic, I'm just consuming all content way too fast.
You playing Cyberpunk, Justin?
I've seen it, but I'm trying to get a new console. I can't find one. New Xbox?
Yeah, I've heard those are a little scarce.
Dude, like I can't literally. They're sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
I was trying to get the boy one for the Christmas day. Or a PS5. I was like, well, maybe I can find it. Nope. Unless I want to pay a scalper like $900.
Oh, they have bots buying everything up right now.
Yeah, it's like the Ticketmaster of
exactly.
game consoles. See, I'll probably get one, the first shipment after Christmas, like February 1st or something.
How much are they? Because I assume are they around 400?
Well, there's like two versions of it, from what I understand. There's this Xbox S and then the X. They both play the same. The X just has better SSD or I don't know, something's better.
More memory or something.
I don't know, dude. I'm no expert. I think they have the same graphics card but different processor, maybe.
I don't know. I'm gonna hold on to my my Xbox for a while. I think until
the
Xbox
Xbox
fails.
One's great, man. Was playing Watch Dogs 2. That's pretty good. If you haven't played that yet, Dave.
What's that?
Watch Dogs 2. It's it's like a Grand Theft Auto, but you're a hacker. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
It's pretty cool. What have you been playing, Ryan? Have you played anything in a while?
Not really. A couple of games. I mean, the last game I went through was Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, nice, dude.
But I loved it. I thought it was a great play.
It's the first game I got emotionally invested in a while.
Yeah.
You fucking got that black lung, bro. Goddamn O'Driscoll's.
Well, after that, I haven't really been playing much.
And fucking,
I do puzzle games with the kids all the time.
Oh, nice.
I get all the. I mean, I've gotten Lyra into Tetris, so we do a lot of Tetris.
Dude, the Tetris Duel or whatever it's called. Have you seen that?
I have. Is that the really spacey? Is it called Duel or is it?
I don't know.
Yeah. I have
something like that.
Yeah,
is that
I
the one you
that.
have?
Yeah.
Pro
it's
tip.
a little distracting. I like.
Yeah. Do you you have Disney Plus?
Yeah, for the kids, and it's the cheapest service.
Well, check it out, dude. If you just do the Xbox Game Pass, it comes with Disney Plus. Same price.
Oh, come on, dude! I think what I need to do is like cancel all my, because I have separate subscriptions to Game Pass and.
Oh,
Disney
yeah,
Plus.
you haven't seen it on there?
Yeah, well, and then you told me that Game Pass had that thing where they're like incorporating
EA now.
EA into it.
Yeah,
like I don't have access to that.
It's worth having, Dave. You're a PlayStation guy, though, aren't you? You have PS4?
Yeah, we have a PS4. What game are you talking about?
We were talking about Xbox Game Pass. It's basically like a subscription game library. There's probably 200 games on it. You know what I mean? They're always adding other shit.
Yeah, we had a PS4 Pro subscription for a while, or whatever it's called.
Pretty similar.
We ended up canceling it because we didn't really use it that much.
Yeah. Yeah, the Disney Plus, I mean, it pays for itself if you use it for Disney, you know what I mean?
Oh, God. I mean, Disney has so much. I mean, not the Mandalorian is one show that I'm hooked on right now. But
I assume you're all the way caught up. Dave, have you seen it?
I have not watched the most recent episode.
Okay. I want spoils.
What, Dave?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
It
looks good, though. I don't really have a way to watch it currently.
I'll send you my password.
Yeah, I was going to say, one of us can shoot you.
because Disney Plus allows you to have 4 screens on one subscription.
Cool.
Yeah, and
Yeah, it's
so
worth a watch.
I've only given my password to one other person.
Plus, Bed Knobs and Broomsticks is on there.
Yes, and my kids love that movie.
Dude, it's my favorite, man.
Dude, it's so good.
I don't know why I loved that as a kid.
I remember that movie. I haven't seen that since I was like 8.
Angela Lansbury.
But you still remember it.
Oh yeah. I mean, it had Nazis in it. You know, there's war shit going on. Angela Lansbury solving murders and raising
Some
the dead.
fucking thing with a bed. I don't know.
Yeah, and they went to the
Like a cartoon world under the sea or something.
yeah, the fucking soccer game with all the fucking animals.
Because it was like post Mary Poppins. It was right.
It was way better.
Like,
Fuck Mary Poppins. Remember they put the bed knob on there and tap it?
No. You had to screw it in first, and then you had to rub it a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. That shit was dope. What'd you have for dinner, Dave? I assume you're doing dishes after dinner?
No, I have not eaten yet. I had kind of like a late McDonald's craving at work, so I'm going to have a late dinner.
Nice. Meryl's all about some water.
I'm going to cook some roasted potatoes here in a little bit.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice. Sweet. I was asking Ryan about his music upbringing. Do you remember the first time you started, like, what your first influence in music was, Dave? Your first exposure?
Music in general?
Yeah.
Man.
Like, did you play piano? Was a piano in your house?
Piano.
Yeah, I started playing the piano a little bit when I was younger.
Was there one in your house?
No, not until I was older. My first exposure to being able to play the piano, I think, was actually at Ryan's house because he was taking lessons, and so he would kind of teach me things a little. I got a few hand-me-down lessons from Ryan early on.
Dude, I don't remember any of those. I don't. I honestly don't. If that's the way, I really don't. That's crazy.
Yeah, and just my exposure to classical music, the classical music world in general, definitely came from you a lot. Just from going over to your house, I remember like your dad was a big audiophile. He had like reel-to-reels and like I think he had the very first CD player I ever saw in my life. Mm-hmm. I remember going over there and hearing like Ray Lynch CDs.
Yes, Celestial Soda Pop.
Right.
Ray Lynch?
When I was a little kid, that shit just like entranced me. I was like, this is the sound of a CD. It is the future.
Yeah, me too. That's what I thought too. To this day, I still love Ray Lynch.
I still do too. I listen to him like pretty regularly on Spotify still.
Yeah. It is.
That's awesome. Ray Lynch is. I gotta check it out.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar.
It's so much. It's like if you were to go to the record store, it would be in the new age section, but it's a little bit more creative than your average sort of new age artist, I would say.
I would
Ryan's
say
dad was into it.
Oh yeah. I would say it tarries more in the electronica realm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Whatever
those.
What time frame are we talking here?
The early 80s is when that came out. I would have heard it in like the late 80s, early 90s, like 89, 90, thereabouts, probably.
Yeah, and he had some albums in the early 90s too that, I mean, he never really had much fame, and he sort of tapered off, but
So run me through that story. I assume you guys were super young then, 8, 9, 10 when you first met. I guess you met through church.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I've known you since we were like 5.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I used to go over to your old the Shotgun House in Jeff that you guys used to live at.
I knew you as far back as when I lived in Jeffersonville, and we moved from there when I was in 3rd grade.
3rd grade would be
8 years
9-ish.
old. 8.
9-ish.
Yeah.
Or 9. I've known you I think since 5 or 6.
Did you guys' parents like bond pretty quick? Move to the area same time frame ish?
I don't know about the same time. I mean, David, you have family in like deep woods, Kentucky, don't you?
Oh yeah,
Still
my dad
like Maysville.
at Maysville, Eastern Kentucky. Yeah, we lived there when I was really young. We moved probably like um, 4 or 5 times before I was like 5 years old. Um, Living in various houses in Kentucky. Some of them didn't have electricity or running water.
Wow.
We finally moved to Jeffersonville. When I was like maybe 4.
Wow. And was it specifically because of the church, or it was just the next stop on the list?
Definitely because of the church. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. For me too. It was Denver to Albuquerque to Tucson to Jeff.
My parents actually met through the church. Like they knew each other. My mom was raised in, I keep saying the message, but I don't know what else to call it.
No.
Raised in the cult though. And then my dad converted to it in his 20s, I think.
So if she was raised in it, then either, I guess your grandparents had to be like original members.
They were like Branhamites back when he was alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember meeting them.
They must have been peers, not just like followers, but like literally almost same ages.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. That's so baffling to me. Can you imagine? I mean, we're all pretty close to the same age. Could you imagine me convincing you of anything?
Guys, an angel came to me like in a cave in the woods, and
like if I just convinced you so hard that not only you fucking believe me, but your kids, they grew up to believe in me.
Takes a certain kind of person to be convinced of that crap. And as much as I hate to say it, my family is David's family, and other families are still convinced to this day.
I just picture that. I mean,
they're
the same age from the same area. It's not like he came out of nowhere. It wasn't that many people population wise. They obviously knew each other before he had this whatever.
Well, he put on I don't know.
It's just hard to picture anybody going from knowing somebody as a normal human being to like.
I don't think. I mean, they probably met him through his evangelism. Like, he was doing evangelistic stuff, going as far back as like the 50s, I think.
Oh yeah, in the 20s. I mean, the big thing on the Ohio River. Yeah. I'm sorry. Shit. Did you say the 20s? Yeah. Yeah, the 20s.
I guess I said the 30s, but yeah, I guess he did start shit way back in the 20s too, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, because wasn't that the whole big baptismal thing on wasn't that 29 on the river where?
Yeah, the fake story about that he told about.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing is he always changes the dates around, so we don't even really know.
Really that he thought sounded good for his story.
Yeah.
Wow, it's weird to know that your grandparents were original followers, basically.
Yeah, they were among the people who would go see him in his lifetime when he would do, giant events.
I mean, he lived. When did he first start? Like,
he was big in his day. He was just as popular as like Oral Roberts and like Billy Graham. And guys. Yeah.
He was just. I mean, he would go to South Africa, and there would be 3 million people that would show up.
How does that happen information-wise?
I don't know about information-wise, dissemination of information-wise, but I suspect there was some character there that, be it an obvious character flaw, but some part of his character attracted people, and he sort of rode a wave where. The faith healing campaign being so big.
How would you compare him to Edgar Casey?
I don't know Edgar Casey.
He was from Kentucky, right?
Yeah, I would say he's like maybe was Edgar Casey he wasn't a minister, was he?
No, he was just like prophet, like I don't know what you like a Nostradamus kind of guy.
He was more into like
prophecy, foretelling the.
Yeah.
He would go in these weird trances and he would like he would hypnotize people and put them in trances and get information out of them and shit about the future. Super weird.
That's hot.
But it was same game. You know what I mean? Same like, snake oil shit. Same realm of snake oil.
Absolutely.
Brandon did a lot of, like, cold reading kind of stuff where he would like fish around the audience and try to like guess people's. He would, a lot of times he would have their information from the prayer cards, and he would like say, "This is your name. This is where you're from. This is your disease."
Yeah, like the classic, like got the thing in the ear, and somebody was reading off the prayer cards to him, and
and you called it. You said it's classic because it has been replicated many times, all the way through Benny Hinn.
Who's Benny Hinn?
Another faith healer from the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's still going. He's still on. I think he's still on TBN.
Isn't it crazy that TBN's a thing?
I don't even want to talk about TBN, honestly. I hate TBN.
Oh, kitty. Jessica likes your kitty. She's getting a good kitty view.
How many cats do you have, Dave?
We have 3 cats.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's awesome.
I love it.
You, dude. They are conspiring.
You can see Momo's passed out in the back there.
Yeah, that one looks like a chunker.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What's his name?
This is Deos.
Say it again.
Deos, but we mostly just call her Flute.
Nice.
She hates this.
Of course. She's a chunk.
Yeah, she's
beautiful.
She
beautiful.
mans the food bowl when it's feeding time, it looks like.
Yeah, she's a bully when it comes to food.
I bet she's got a real good strong paw.
Yep.
Get a lot of that going on. Yeah, those big ones don't fuck around, dude. They got that real strong front paw for that good slap action. Because they don't want to fuck around. They don't want to fight because they're too lazy and tired. You know what I mean? So they developed a skill.
Meryl's not shy though. She'll still pick a fight with her.
Oh yeah. I'm sure Fatty takes a lot of it before she starts using energy, though, right?
I mean, she'll just smack her like you said, just get that paw going, and Meryl will usually quit messing with her then.
That's awesome. Gotta love some kitties.
Are you, where are you living now, Dave? Are you still in downtown area, Louisville?
Yeah, we're still in the same apartment in Old Louisville. They're on First Street. Yep.
Right, the same one that I went to.
Yeah, same
Wow.
one.
That's odd. That's sort of crazy awesome. I like that. Just not having to move. I mean, do you want to move? I assume you want to move, but or maybe you don't. I don't know.
We would like to move to a place that's a little bigger and more accessible for Molly.
Yeah, because you have that. You have like two like 5 stairs and 2 landings of it leading up to the door, don't you?
There's like 5 or 6 steps leading up to the door on the porch there. We're on the first floor though. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were going to move like a year and a half, 2 years ago. We were going to, but it didn't end up working out, so we're kind of stuck here for now.
Yeah.
That's crazy. How long so you've been there like 10, 12 years?
Yeah, it's been about 10 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I think it was 2010, 2011 maybe when we moved here, something like that.
Has it been the same landlord the whole time?
No, it was sold, the building got sold to a large company a couple years ago.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I probably drove up rent.
Actually, it's not gone up yet.
That's awesome. Oh, hell yeah.
Nice. It's fucking
Meryl.
Mission Impossible in the background. I was enthralled for a second. It was awesome. So I lost my train of thought there. So your grandma, 1920s, you're saying 20s? Is that what you said? I thought it was 50s.
I don't know when my grandparents discovered Branham.
When was he alive? Like
he died in 1955.
55 he died. Okay.
65.
65. Oh shit.
And he was born in what, 1917?
No,
Or 1909.
9, yeah, according to him.
According to him, exactly.
Like early on, he said he didn't know when he was born. He was like, we didn't have dates. We just say you were born like around the time of the harvest or whatever. So, and then later on, he changed it because I think he thought it had some kind of numerological significance or something if he had that specific day. So,
yeah.
A lot of immigrants currently, like a lot of Somalis in Louisville that came from Kenya and stuff. They don't know their birthday, so it's a default like 1/1 of whatever year they think they were born.
Oh wow!
And some of them you can tell like are way older than they think they are. Like, wait a second, I'm pretty sure you're 90. You weren't born in 85. Either that or Kenya's just fucking leathers you out.
I would
a lot of those refugees.
I imagine it would. Yeah.
Yeah. It's apparently the biggest refugee camp in the world.
Oh, in Kenya, yeah, it is. Yeah, I remember reading that a while ago.
Yeah, Louisville's like a sister city,
it's like
or whatever you want to call it.
2 million people or something like that. It's crazy.
There's apparently a couple 100,000 of them in Louisville.
Kenyan? Of Kenyan?
Somali, various.
Somali, yes.
Yeah, various, Sudan. I don't know how the terms for Ghana, Ghanese. I don't know what they're called, but
I think that's right.
Yeah, there's a ton of them. Dave, I'm surprised you don't have more encounters with them in your day to day.
I see them around.
Yeah, they have some kind of partnership with Louisville. Like Minnesota is the same way. Minneapolis, in Minnesota, they have a large refugee population because I don't know, some kind of program or whatever. Sister city, I think it's called. It's one of them Democrat things. Damn Democrats.
We have nothing like that in Fort Collins.
Is Denver Democratic?
Denver is actually, in the entire state, has basically gone Democratic. But both the House and Senate are controlled by Democrats, and we have Governor Polis, who is the first gay governor in U.S. history. Yeah. At least being out. You know what I'm saying?
There's been plenty of queers, boy.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt of that. But so in that sense, it makes me really proud of this state. What doesn't make me proud is the incredible income gap that exists. I'm having a vague memory of that come back.
I don't know what Zork is. Somebody send me a Google of it, will you?
Yeah, they took our toy blocks or wooden blocks that we'd play with, and they set them up on the table and used them to create a map of the dungeon they were going through. They're very
These fucking nerds.
Why don't I remember this? Oh my god, my memory is terrible.
So your parents were fucking nerds, is what you're saying.
Well,
playing D&D, basically.
I'm a nerd.
Oh yeah, we all are, but they were playing D&D, a form of it. You know what I mean? Like,
I honestly don't. And what age were we, David? I don't even remember that.
It was when I lived in Jeffersonville, so it had to have been 3rd grade or earlier. So I would have been 5 to 8 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
Will you show me a screenshot of Zork, Ryan? You got ability to pull it up?
Well, it's a DOS game, so there's really no screenshot. It's just all
text.
Yeah. But here I can pull this up.
Like a choose your direction text-based thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Make those books.
RPGs, really.
You've disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh, I don't think I abled it.
How dare you?
I don't think I abled it.
Wow. Yeah, I'm having a little memory of that. If my dad.
Yeah,
all right, there you go.
Like bringing the computer over, putting it in the car, and us going over, and then I have a memory of us playing in that bedroom. I remember playing like Pin the Tail on the Donkey one time.
Yeah, would have probably been a birthday party, maybe.
Yeah, it would have been a birthday party, and I remember your dad and my dad off in a corner somewhere. That must have been what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay. See, this is why I need friends to like bring this back to me, because like I feel like there's
I'm just shocked.
in all of us, there's so many memories that we can't access, and especially like I really can't access a lot of my childhood memories, partially because I tended to.
Little moments like that, that's really the whole moment in my head is what I described.
You had computers. That blows my mind.
Yeah, well, I mean, my dad was working with computers because he worked for Dairyman Incorporated at the time.
What's that? Is it like a PC hardware company or what?
He was a tech guy. How do I do this? Okay, here we go. Hold on. Can you see it now?
Zork. Okay.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, it's not. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's what you got. At any rate, it's not. There's not much to share there.
What kind of PC we talking here? We like a Commodore, pre-Commodore?
Just like the earliest PCs. At least the earliest PCs that I played on.
Probably not a Commodore, but like I feel like your dad probably had like a Unix or something.
Yes, he did. He did.
Very early PC.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't much I remember as a kid just going in there and learning and just writing sentences and learning how to type, and that kind of stuff. And then beyond that, I played Zork. And then the next thing I knew, there was dial-up AOL. And I was like, holy shit, what's this?
Yeah. I remember playing around with the Commodore 64 and like doing the DOS, like all the line entries to play like Worms or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Big cassette, fucking weird cassette things that I had. It was a big bulky ass machine.
That's crazy though that you like my dad had the first CD player that you had ever seen. I mean, he had been the first CD player that I ever saw too. He was an audiophile, and that's definitely influenced my life. It definitely turned me into a musician, and probably influenced David, your love of. No, I'm not saying my dad influenced you. I'm just saying that having access to those materials, like, changes your viewpoint on life and your view of the future. And you're like, oh my God, if that's possible, what else could be possible?
How did you get access to Dr. Demento and stuff?
Through Andy Merriman. He recorded on cassette and then give it to me, and I'd make my own copy. We make our like mixed compilations of all the different songs.
So he was letting the devil in there. He was giving you the
thankfully. Thank God.
Bless his heart. That's awesome. I could see young Andy making a, because I remember doing that, making like radio station cassette recordings, like trying to catch something coming on the radio so you can record it, then doing some little stupid voice in between.
It's the power of creation.
Yeah.
It's the formation.
That happened
of lives.
a lot. Jess, I think you did that, right? Make cassette radio like nonsense. It's awesome. So how did you meet Andy then? Scouts?
No, I met Andy because he lives on my block.
Oh, yeah.
Right down the road, and
locations, everything.
I used to go out and play like He-Man and G.I. Joe with my next door neighbor, and I think one day Andy showed up there to play with us, and like that's how I met Andy.
Yeah, that was a good neighborhood for riding around, and if I recall, there was like some open areas too, right? Like construction type areas.
It was still in development, so there was a lot of just a big giant field like behind our house, basically. I'm
so thankful for those kids in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like I was that kid that was outside as soon as I could and had to come in at dark, but it was just like 5 or 6 of us that lived in neighborhoods.
Oh yeah.
Just like who was outside, who can we get? Go get him, knock on his door.
Yep.
I'm telling you, a kid knocked on my door right now, I'd punch him. It's so weird how things change. I don't want any kid in my yard.
If anyone knocks on my door, I might punch him.
Kid walks by my house and I'm staring him down. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Like all of a sudden became Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. I'll give a kid a dirty look. But I know most of the kids now, you know what I mean? Like just from my kids growing up with them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, what's up, man? It's kind of weird. I'm like the old cool dad in the neighborhood that rides his tricycle around. listening to Art Blakely like on a big loud Bluetooth speaker on a tricycle.
Oh my God, that's a throwback.
Holy shit! What are we looking at here? Hold on.
That's my dad
Oh shit, dude, he was bitching
in his bumblebee sweater,
Fuck yeah.
and there's David in the
Which
middle.
one are you, Dave? I don't even recognize any of you.
Awesome acid wash jeans.
No shit.
That's me, yeah, and my
I
brother.
assume that's you in the jacket,
Yep,
the red jacket.
the red jacket.
Dude, you got your dad's hair for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I certainly don't have it now, but
Can you zoom in for us? Wow.
Holy crap!
Yeah, that's Charlie for sure.
Oh, that is Charlie. You're right. He has the hair, man, and he's gonna keep it because it's
What year is this?
right?
And where is it?
89 maybe?
Yeah, I was gonna say 89, 90. Yeah, I think at 89. We went to Juarez. David's wearing a Juarez shirt because we.
Yeah, Mexico.
Yeah, we went.
Wow.
We were in El Paso, and we went across the border and ate at a real Mexican restaurant in Juarez, and had. I remember that experience. We had Mexican chocolate, and I was like, "What the hell is Mexican chocolate?"
Yeah, it was spicy as hell.
Yeah, right. You okay? Yeah, you remember it.
That's awesome.
That was great. Yeah,
Like at this distance, it doesn't look like
my
either
dad
one.
was rocking it. Actually,
Yeah, your dad was a bitchin' dude.
he was rocking that bumblebee.
Like, think how hardcore cool he was. Audiophile, look like that with the chops, with the stash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you let this Lord shit in there? You know what I'm saying? Like you would think this guy would be righteous, cool as fuck.
My mom. Okay, no, and then I don't want to get into that.
Okay. I understand.
Yeah.
That pussy power.
We are a far cry from WAP.
Yeah. He's bitching though for sure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So you guys' families were close then, like family trips and shit.
I just ride family on vacation.
Ah, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, we did a couple. We did that one, and then around 18 or 17, so we went to. We drove west straight through to San Francisco. Did we do that one, David? Did you come with me on that one?
Yeah, we went to Yosemite. We went to Glacier National Park.
I have all those pictures on a couple of flash drives in a box. I need to pull those out and put them on my computer.
Yeah, I've got them somewhere. I think on an old computer hard drive in the closet.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we hiked up Yosemite Falls together. That was awesome. Like there were so many things that so our families were pretty close, and still to this day. I mean, when I talked to my mom, she's like, "Yeah, Sharon and I went out and had lunch together." And
that's awesome. Jessica has a connection to Dave. She's taken care of his aunt for a long time.
Christine.
Nursing home. Yeah, Christine.
Wow.
Has she seen her lately?
She's actually I'm her secret Santa. I'm getting ready to send her a Christmas present.
Did you hear that?
I'm her secret Santa, so I'm getting ready to send her a present for Christmas.
Fucking small worlds, man.
And I got to meet your grandma too, and she is so cute.
What's her name?
Annie Mae.
Amy Mae?
Annie Mae?
Annie Mae.
Annie Mae,
Yeah, that's a classic old school name. Hell yeah. Full circle, man. It's wild. The toy's got a vast reach. That is awesome.
So,
I had several friends like that the vacation friends. You know what I mean? That's good shit. We never did country trips though.
Yeah.
We did holiday world trips and shit like that, camping in the holler. Dude, what is he making? Potatoes?
Taters.
What's your preferred spice for your roasted potatoes?
I go simple, just salt and pepper, maybe a little garlic powder.
I like that too. If I have some like dried rosemary or something like that, or some parsley,
Yeah.
I'll sprinkle it on. But yeah, I agree. Simple's better.
But if I have some like fresh thyme or some kind of any real fresh herb would be nice on them. But I don't have anything like that right now.
Yeah.
You bastards. That's awesome.
I'm basically just making French fries, to be honest. In the oven, just fries.
Hell yeah. Never grow up.
That's fantastic. Dude, I had Chick-fil-A for dinner, man. We were, it's Friday. I was like, man, we don't want to do shit. Let's get some food.
Yeah. I had a frozen pizza. All my food budget goes towards the kids. And so I have to eat what they eat. And,
Yeah.
so sometimes Charlie's not very picky. Lyra's very picky. So I have to negotiate those two worlds.
Oh, yeah.
So thankfully, we end up with a lot of stuff that, I like, but it does get boring sometimes. But, I'm not going to complain too much.
It's a short list for the picky ones.
A couple of nights we eat beans and rice. There's nothing. Beans and rice are delicious.
Right.
Even
so they like them.
A little bit of hot sauce on top makes it.
Yep.
That beans and rice is a staple in our house, and because both kids love it.
Good. I've noticed the older they get, the more exploratory they get. Like Brooklyn and Chloe will try new shit all the time now.
Yeah, as long as they don't like explore in the context of king salmon, then I'll be okay.
I don't fuck with fish at all. I'm still picky, and that's my problem. That's why I'm fat, I think. And I stopped moving, exercising and shit. I didn't never exercise, but my metabolism slowed down, and I kept eating the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm picky. What are you drinking there, Dave?
Something special.
No, nice. Classic.
It's classic.
So synth pop, huh? Is what you've been jamming?
Yeah. What my Spotify here?
Have you written anything? I know you've been doing a lot of art, but
yeah, I've been mostly on visual art in recent months. But I have a SoundCloud where I do some like electronic instrumental stuff. But I haven't uploaded to it in a few months. I've been wanting to work on a new song, though. I might start on one soon, maybe this weekend.
That'd be awesome. I haven't even. I don't think I've heard your SoundCloud stuff. What is the moniker that is under?
It's Nostrum. It's GNOSTRUM.
Yep. Okay. I'll check it. I need to get a Spotify account. I don't have one.
I use Amazon Music because Spotify. I don't want to pay for Spotify Premium, and I hate commercials, dude. I fucking hate
commercials, but sometimes you just got to go with it and just mute them.
Yeah.
I've got a premium that I've had for years, and it's one of the few luxuries that I refuse to give up because it's basically like I don't really have a CD collection or much of a record collection or like I don't have like a large digital collection. So that is my libraries. It's on SoundCloud.
I don't know the last time I've touched music.
What?
Like, I don't know the last time I've touched music, like physically touched something music was on.
Oh, I see. Okay.
A long time. Movies, too. I haven't touched a DVD or VHS.
My CDs don't go with me anywhere, and I don't have very many because I've thrown them away or given them away because they're worthless. My vinyl, honestly and truly, the past year, I've been selling a lot of it off. But, that said, there's some vinyl that I won't let go of. Just, there's some things that I just can't let go of. And so, yeah, I touch those every day.
So, you got a record player set up?
I do. I still have. Thankfully, I still have my Audio Technics table. It's the cheap Audio Technics table. It's not like a crazy one, but it
Cool.
does the thing. And my dad had a couple of speakers that he didn't need anymore, and so he brought them out a couple years ago. I said they're not great, but they're actually better than the surround sound system that I had, which was like just a piecemeal system, which sounded like crap.
Yeah, speakers from like the 80s really like were made for quality, like really hold up. I had an old set for a while. I ended up getting rid of my record player. I just donated it to the Goodwill one day because I was like trying to clean the apartment and needed more surface area.
Yeah.
I was like, I've got Spotify. Why do I need this giant stereo taking up all this space? But I do kind of miss being able to listen to vinyl.
I don't know if you remember our house in Henryville, but we had that jukebox for a while that was given to us. It was like a light up, like 80s style jukebox.
Jukebox?
Yeah. It was I don't even know what happened to it. It was a brief moment. It was just kind of given to me and like, all right, I'll have it here in this tiniest living room. And the lights worked and everything, but I didn't have any records, so it ended up like giving it away. Or I don't know what happened to it. It had to go because it was too fucking big. But I wish I had it now.
Did you give all your records away too, David?
Most of them I've sold. I've got a few left though.
Dude, your art's everywhere. It's so awesome.
I love the fact that you have your art everywhere.
Yeah, there's more space in my wall that needs it.
You gotta send me your address, David.
We didn't hear you, Dave. What is that? Doot doot?
Ooh, I don't know that. Froya.
You're muted yourself.
No, he's not muted. There's something wrong.
Hands over the mic. Say something again, Dave. We're dying to hear your voice again. All of is awkward. Say something, Dave.
I'm right here.
Okay.
Hey! We didn't hear you there. You were muted there for a minute, so we couldn't hear you.
Yeah, I'm hooked up to Bluetooth. I walked away from it. I think it disconnected.
Ah. Fucking A. Here's that. I'm
Yeah, I still got like maybe 20 records that I have.
They take up space too, man.
It's a hell of a job every time I have to move, and I don't own that. I mean, I'm on my desktop, so I can't show you, but I mean, most of my vinyl is classical, which is worth nothing, but the rest, I can't estimate how much I have, but at any rate, well, I have about 400 records, but when I like try to move those, dude, it's ridiculous. And that's ultimately that's part of the reason why a lot of the stuff that I sold the past year, because I needed the money anyway, was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to be moving a few more times. I need to just get rid of this. So I ended up selling off a lot of stuff that I normally thought, I would keep.
A milk crate of records, probably 30 pounds.
Oh yeah, more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on how pack you tight it.
How pack you tight it.
Thank you. How pack you tight it.
Feel that. Dave, you definitely need to bring me some more art, man. I'm trying to have a whole Dave basement.
I was worried you're getting overwhelmed with too much of my shit.
No, dude, it's better than looking at a blue wall. You know what I mean? It's everywhere. I dig it.
I'll send you a record player if you send me some art.
Oh, shit.
Really?
Oh, shit. You should do that.
I can't guarantee it's going to be an awesome record player, but I'll send you one. It's not going to be like the Toy Tykes.
That's cool. Get back to you on that.
Oh yeah, please
make that happen.
Anything Lyra is really into like into drawing and pencil drawings.
Yeah.
And things like that, and even colored pencils and stuff like that. And I think it'd be cool for her to see something from one of my friends, as an example of someone that I grew up with. And she'd love to have like a art drawing that she can hang on the wall, because we do that with her stuff all the time here.
Nice.
Trying to, as much as I don't want her to be an artist, because I know you end up being a failure in many ways.
Whoa.
Maybe not a personal failure. I'm not talking about being a personal failure. It brings me joy. I'm just talking about we're not going to get into politics here and the ridiculousness of our economic situations. But I do, like, as much as I don't want her to choose that path, she's showing true talent in that regard. And I can't say stop doing it, She loves it. Like her new favorite thing are oil pastels. She just loves doing stuff with that. And, they're cheap stuff you buy at King Soopers, Kroger. God, it's just amazing to see her work. It sort of like brought me back to, myself when I was young and thinking about art and crap like that. What's that face, Chumley?
My kids upstairs acting fools. I don't know what they're doing. Just stampeding through the house.
What the?
Sound like a herd of animals. Dave, you started getting into art late, though, right? You didn't start like, drawing and shit or did you always draw? Because I don't remember seeing you.
I always remember David as a drawer.
Okay.
He was always
drawing. But I didn't really start, I would say, seriously trying to learn any kind of real technique until maybe 10 or 15 years ago.
I love your stuff. I think
me too, dude.
I think it's really great. And I really like it a lot.
I've just been working in digital lately just because of time and space constraints. You don't have to like have an area with all of your paints laid out and the water and all the cleanup and everything that's involved in that.
Dude, I think a lot of your recent ones would make awesome t-shirts.
Cool.
Seriously. Like that's the style now. Like the 80 synth shit is coming back huge. Yeah, like every time I see every time I see your most recent digital stuff, that's the first thing I think of. This would be a badass fucking, streetwear shirt, basically.
Yeah.
Like on a black shirt or you know what I mean? Even
what's like the largest canvas that you've done for
I don't really got anything really large scale.
Not that that's not a test for quality. I'm just curious about like what's hanging on your wall now that is and yeah.
You got a freedom of movement here, Dave. Let's see some.
Figure this. Turn the camera around.
See, there's a couple of Daves there in the corner. There's another.
Oh, that one.
In the corner.
Oh, whoa! Wait,
yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah, it's badass.
That is badass.
And those two on the corner there are also Dave.
Yeah.
And they're everywhere. I just don't have that much movement.
Oh my god!
That peddler's moth. I thought it was cool. No idea who painted it.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
You did that? Holy crap, dude! I haven't seen that one.
No, I did not do that. That's just one I bought.
Okay, well,
that's still badass.
What's the one next to it at the top? Holy shit!
Yeah, that's so nice.
That is gorgeous.
I really like the black and white one there too. Dude, those would go perfect. I have those similar ones you gave me. Those are all awesome.
Here's the largest thing I've done. It's a collage that I made.
I love that.
Get closer for us, will you? Let me see that. That's cool, man.
Huh. Is that Hubbard?
No, it's what do you call that stuff? Not shellac, like the white glue type stuff that you put over collages, decoupage.
Okay, yeah.
The person though, is that a particular person?
No, it's just shit I cut out of. I bought a bunch of old like Weekly World News tabloid type magazines.
Okay.
Just kind of put them on there haphazardly. I haven't done a lot of
I don't think there's anything half-hearted about that. That looks beautiful.
kind of stuff. The geometric stuff I did.
Yes, sick.
I like this one a lot.
That would make a great T-shirt.
I like it.
Dude, it's everywhere. It's awesome.
I fucking love it.
It's fucking awesome.
I always admired you, David.
That
for
right
being
there is
able to-
cool.
For being able to draw, and Andy for being able to draw. Like I never could figure out how to do it, and probably because I never gave it the time to do it. But
Yeah, just practice like anything.
yeah, but also I think there's an inclination on some to do it, and you should let that rest.
It's always just been a compulsion. Like if I'm sitting there and like I've always wanted to just kind of be doodling or drawing or I don't know. It's just a compulsion. I feel like I'm not really fulfilling my time if I'm not doing something creative.
Amen to that.
If I did by and I haven't made something, I kind of feel like almost disappointed.
If how long ticks by?
A day or two, if I haven't made a piece of art or worked on a song or done something.
Even if you don't bring it to completion, you're still
just working on stuff.
Yeah, just the act of creation itself is the thing that sustains us, especially. I'm not going to get too philosophical, but I absolutely agree.
Yeah, I'm a perpetual beginner. Like, first of all, I can't stick to a specific style. I'll kind of get my attention span's really short, so I'll do a thing for a while, then I'll do something else, and then I'll do something else. And like if I had spent all my time kind of honing my skills toward one particular direction, I'd probably be pretty damn good at it by now. But I kind of get all over the place. So, but I feel like I'm always a perpetual beginner. Like there's so much that you can learn, so many new techniques that are just like it's just a constant learning process.
And I don't think the learning process ever changes. It as in it never stops. We never get the chance to step back and say, "Oh my God, I'm really good now." It doesn't happen. So, in a sense, I think we all feel like beginners in a way. Yeah, I mean, practicing the piano in my case for many years is one thing, but damn, I look at one of my favorite pianists right now is John Baptiste. You guys know him. He's a lot more than this, but he's the band leader for Colbert and on CBS.
Play it.
I can't play any John Baptiste, but he's just been his Village Vanguard album was just nominated for a Grammy, and he's just this New Orleans jazz pianist, but a simpler form of jazz piano that just is astounding to me. And like I look at things like that and I'm like, I'll never get there. But I don't think that's the point ultimately. The point is ultimately that we just keep trying and we keep trying to feel better by creating stuff. And like I don't, like you said, David, I would say for me it's like a week. Like if I've gone a week without even looking at something I'm working on, I am just imminently depressed. And the second I realize that, because sometimes it takes me to kick my own self in the butt to realize that, wait, you're not happy right now because you haven't created anything.
Exactly.
I mean, like, no matter what I don't want legacy or recognition, but the act of creation is what we humans are. This is how we connect.
Can I jump into that? I don't think I don't have that.
I think you very much do have that because I think the process of creation.
Here it is. So I think that is learning. I think if I go a day or two without learning something, I feel like I'm fucking losing my shit.
Creating.
To separate the idea of like play and work when it comes to doing art, because like it is just a hobby at the same, but it's like it is work and it is a process. And it is you build upon your experience, but a lot of the time doing art it sort of occupies the same role as playing did when you're a child. It kind of fulfills that same this sense of like
adventure,
exploration, and just like not really having to conform to any rules or anything. You can just kind of do whatever you want, create your own little world or your own little, just I lost my train of thought.
Well, I think that part of it, I just watched an interview with Matthew McConaughey, which is an actor that I love. But McConaughey was saying the beauty of art, or the beauty of creation. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but so the beauty of it is that the more personal you make it, the more relatable it is. So, I mean, the process of creation demands that we like create something that's very personal. And for some that is relatable, and for some it's, I mean, that's coming from Matthew McConaughey, one of the world's most successful actors. But I'm saying it is a vehicle, art creation is a vehicle for us to be ourselves.
Yeah. I don't know if I consciously ever think of myself as being personal. I mostly just kind of like make things that I want to see, that I enjoy seeing. Like if I saw that somewhere, I would like it. Or like, just the enjoyment of looking at something, or like making music that I want to hear. I like to listen to my own music, as narcissistic as that sounds, but like I make music that I want to hear.
Me too, absolutely. I totally understand that, and I don't think it's egotistical at all to think that, oh, I don't want to create something and say I hate it.
I don't have any delusion that it's like great or anything, but like I'm making it because that's what I want to listen to.
Yes.
Music I like. I just want to create certain sounds and textures that please me. Honestly, I resent every single morning. It never goes away. Having to get up and go work rather than just like boot up my computer or get out the art supplies and just fuck around. That's literally all I want to do.
Fuck yeah. I totally.
It's
yeah.
awesome.
I totally hear that. That's exactly the way I
sure.
feel about it. I mean, and I resent the fact that we live in a society that does not allow us to do that. It's not that we want to be lazy and sit on our butts, because art and creation requires a lot of work. And at the end of the day, you're going to be tired out and you're going to be ready for bed.
It's just that's what my creative energy to go to, like toward something that I care about, rather than like most of my energy in the day having to go toward, doing labor for a company, making money for them so that I can pay my bills. It's all very disconnected and alienated. I want my creative energy to be put towards something that I can see physically with my own hands and my own eyes, and that benefits me in the moment.
Yeah, and benefits. Yeah. God.
This is I mentioned this last time we talked, Ryan, but this is the very exact reason why universal basic income should exist.
I absolutely agree.
For people like you two. You guys are the perfect example of why it should exist. And
but quite frankly, on a broader economic level, it's not just people like us and artists that need the universal basic income. It's also like so many other people who work in every industry that sustains our economy is funded basically by people who aren't paid and can't live a life, or aren't paid enough and can't live their life to their fullest. So like a universal basic income would absolutely help every maybe I shouldn't curse, but every person in this fucking country. Like, if you want to, go ahead, David.
I was going to say there's no reason why we can't have UBI currently. It's
totally
Yeah.
Even just $12,000, like Andrew Yang, $12,000 a year. God, that would go a long way.
Yeah.
The way I see it, what's better for the country? Dave delivering shit for a courier service, or creating shit to make everything look better and sound better? You know what I mean?
Well,
like he's doing the country a disservice by not doing that shit.
But see, this is a continuing, and I don't want to get too angry, but this is a pattern that we have found throughout society since post World War II, where artists are not represented. Like, artists are not valued. We value art and we value inspiration, but only after the fact. We don't value it in the current moment. We let artists die off, and then we say this guy or this woman had something to say, and we didn't support them in their lifetimes, and that's bullshit.
Well, how do we support you?
It's only valuable as a commodity.
Yeah.
It has to be utilized under capitalism. It's not inherently valued in and of itself.
And I would think somebody like either one of you, the moment you try to make what you do a commodity, you lose interest in it. And you're wasting.
Well, because like Frank Zatt, and I posted this on my feed the other day, but
right now, if anybody wants to offer me money,
of course, we're all whores, you know what I mean? But
to a certain extent,
yeah. But if you were getting paid a salary and you had to get up every day and create something, you would.
I would do it.
I know, but a year or two down the road, you're like, this is fucking bullshit. I can't do what I want. I got to do what they're expecting to get my fucking check.
You still weren't able to at least have a lot of creative control over what you were doing.
Yeah.
That's very frustrating for an artist. Yeah. I totally hear that.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a way to do it, and I'm sick of the country. I'm sick of the old arguments, and I don't want to get political, but I'm tired of all the arguments surrounding this. We can't afford this. We can't afford that. Well, you can afford so much shit.
Dude, like I pointed out last time we talked, it already exists. We just need to raise the threshold to people, make it higher so more people qualify for it.
But the real question is,
give food stamps, housing. We just need to raise that threshold so more people qualify for that aid.
Yeah, we talked about it. I mean, I'm in the Medicaid hole. I can't get out of Medicaid. I can't make any more money, and I don't make barely anything, because if I do make $500 more a year, I lose my health insurance in the time of this pandemic, and I can't do it. So,
yeah, but if they raise that threshold another $30,000,
oh God, yeah, then I could make money again, or try to. But that's the problem. Is that, as you know, how am I going to
be so stressed out about making money? You know what I mean?
But see, here's the thing about artists, and then I'll stop pontificating. But here's the thing: is that people like Dave and I and others that we know collectively, no matter what, we continue to create. It doesn't stop. It's not like even though, Dave, you're tired at your job when you're done.
My allergies going nuts.
I'm tired when I'm doing even though I'm lucky in the sense that I have a job where I do music, even though it's for a fucking church. But I do that. At the end of the day, I'm tired, but I still work on my own shit.
Right.
Because there's something compelling about the drive and inspiration that artists possess to create. And I use that term very loosely because I really believe artists exist in all forms. A mathematician is an artist, a scientist is an artist. It's a very generalized way to look at artistry. But maybe passion is a better word for it. People who possess passion will pursue their passion no matter what, as much as they can in and of their own ability.
Yeah, but aren't we robbing each other of greatness when we stifle that ability to pursue? And
100%, and that's why we should stop doing that. UBI.
Necessarily so much that
UBI
has to have some larger function for society. Like, there's no reason why we need to be working, 40-hour weeks, 50-hour weeks. Like, activity in this country, has gone up so much. Like, so much goods are produced. There's more than enough to go around. There's empty houses everywhere. Like, the only reason why they have to keep it going is because the system will just collapse if they decide that people don't necessarily need to work as much as they do. But I really feel like we could all have everything we need and still have work 20 hours a week instead. There's nothing catastrophic would happen to our economy. There might be a few less billionaires.
Well, that's the point. It's the people who own all the money. I mean, look in the pandemic itself, and Jeff
Distribution of wealth.
Bezos' wealth has like gone up by $70 billion since March. And it's time for the billionaires. And this is why, Biden taxing the rich who make over $400,000 a year. They're going to have their taxes hiked up significantly. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Because quite frankly, no one needs even $400,000 a year.
No.
Like, I think the cap, quite frankly, should be $150,000 a year. If you're making 150 grand a year, you're probably doing pretty well because you can get any loan for a house you want. You can go out and buy your Lexus or your Tesla if you want. But if you're making less than that, we now live in a market where, depending on where you live in the country, there is no possible way for the majority of Coloradans to actually buy a house in this state. It's absurd. My parents' house in Jeffersonville, Indiana, which you know very well, Dave, would go on the market tomorrow for 150 grand, and they live on a quarter acre.
Yep.
That same house in Fort Collins, where I live, would cost $1 million. Wow. Literally. It's like, that's really messed up. And to have that kind of economic dichotomy on two sides of the country, and it's the same thing on the eastern seaboard in Massachusetts, you're going to find that same house go for $1 million. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, people want to no one wants to live in the middle of Kansas. Okay, fine, I get that. I don't know how to resolve that issue. Everyone wants to live in the mountains, or everyone wants to live on the ocean. I'm getting off on a tangent, but there's a way to do it, and the only way to do it is to get rich people to stop being Scrooge. It's the only way to do it.
And they're not going to just suddenly be nice. Like, you got to pass laws. You got to put income limits. You got to break apart giant corporations. Get rid of Citizens United so that they can't just buy their way into politics. It's it has to be. But how do you do that when they control everything? That's what they do.
Yeah, I mean, the current bill in Congress it's not a bill yet, but to break up Facebook, to extricate WhatsApp and Instagram from the ownership of Mark Zuckerberg, I think it's a great thing. That's awesome. Is it going to happen? Nope. It's not going to happen.
I disagree with you both.
Because capitalism does not work.
I disagree with you both.
Well, then you feel free to pontificate. Capitalism doesn't work. It doesn't work for the majority of Americans, and that's a fact.
I think it's perfectly capable of working.
To make people, the whole definition of capitalism is basically basing the economy around private profits and private ownership. And in that sense, it is working. There's nothing about the inherent nature of capitalism that says it has to be fair or that some people have everything while other people have nothing.
Right.
But when they talk about capitalism, they think that it just means small businesses and commerce, but really it's not. It's just it's literally planning the economy around what is maximizes the profits for everybody, and that's not a basis to plan an economy.
And the biggest dragon that we have to tackle is healthcare, because capitalism for healthcare is stupid.
Healthcare should not be something that is just put on the free market, allow profits to drive its the business decisions around it. Be treated like
you're both wrong.
How are we wrong?
It's what drives innovation.
No.
Listen, hear me out. Taxes are real. Taxes are real.
Well, yeah.
The appropriation of taxes is the problem. People
I would agree.
Money and making
to a certain extent
tons of money is not the issue. It's the appropriation of taxes, how it's based, how they're applied, and how those funds are divvied up, and what they're divvied up for is the issue.
Say it again.
The government is a business.
Right. Well, the government is an entity that we create to make life better for the most amount of people, in theory. The government is supposed to be
right.
The population of the nation.
No taxation without representation.
But in theory, that's what our taxes should be doing, and that's the problem, that they're not doing that.
Right.
I would agree, especially in the context of specific programs like the Department of Defense.
So it's not it's not the rich people getting richer that's the problem. It's the
No,
money
it
that we're
is.
paying in
It
taxes
is
not
part
being
of the
used
problem.
appropriately.
No, okay. So and this is true. Bernie Sanders tweeted this. Okay, so if Jeff Bezos, tell me this is not a problem. If Jeff Bezos today, with all the money he's made through the pandemic, decided to pay his Amazon employees and stop fighting them and getting them, like, not providing sick leave for COVID and all this stuff and not providing safe working environments and all that stuff, if he could pay every single employee of Amazon $130,000 as a bonus right now, and he would only go back for personal wealth to his pre-pandemic level in February for his personal wealth. That's how much money he has made. But he's holding on to it.
Good for him,
not,
dude. Good for
not
him.
good for him. What about
Why
all the
not?
other Amazon employees who work for him who are getting sick and whatnot and can't
employees.
make ends meet? Yes, they're
employees.
employees, but this is a man that could give $130,000 to each one of them and still be the world's richest billionaire.
Right,
So
but where's the
how?
incentive to be Jeff Bezos if you're just giving away all your money?
I don't want to be Jeff Bezos, and I think
Neither
a lot
do
of
I.
people in this world don't want to be Jeff Bezos.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that he has a right to be Jeff Bezos, because
Of course it does.
because to step up and get to that financial level, you have to step on so many people's backs to get to the top.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's
not
Those are separate issues.
because you work harder than other people. Like Jeff Bezos isn't a billionaire because he works a billion times harder than you.
Right.
He
He just made
there
smart
because
decisions and
He
no,
owns
it's not.
capital. It's because he has capital. He owns things, and he can make passive income off of that ownership, and he can treat workers as a commodity, the same as he would anything else.
right.
He can just basically buy all the cheap labor he needs to run his business. And
Which is the glory of capitalism. That's what capitalism does.
See, I don't think it's a glory.
it's
Of course
feudalism.
it is.
It is feudalism.
Of course it is.
No,
I mean, Listen. Just hear me out for a second. And I know you're getting real mad at me. Just hear me out.
no. I couldn't be mad at you, Justin.
Just hear me out, though.
Okay.
The issue is not being the richest man in the world. The issue is how we tax those companies and the loopholes that we allowed him to continue to take.
Then why does
avoid
Amazon
paying
why does Amazon basically pay no
hence
tax?
those loopholes that I was referring to? Those are all
Yes.
tax law problems. Those are all gigantic
Yeah,
taxing issues.
but who's going to change that? Who's going to change that?
Well, that's something that can be changed through elected officials, but we can't just.
I believe that.
Those are capable changes. You can't just make a law that says you can't be Jeff Bezos. You know what I mean? you gotta like. There
Although
are ways to do it. Handle appropriate.
It sounds kind of attractive, but
It's not that you make a law that you can't be Jeff Bezos. It's that you structure the system in such a way that it's impossible to become a billionaire because there's no ethical way to become a billionaire. You can only get there through extreme exploitation. And
Well, that's what you do. You don't make laws saying you can't be a billionaire. You just close those holes and fix the issues.
I see your point.
Yeah. So the goal is for everybody to be a billionaire.
But there's more to it than just
If you're able to do it the right way, and the problems are fixed to not allow exploitation and stuff like that, then if somebody becomes a billionaire without doing any of those crazy things,
you can't.
then that's something that's to be celebrated.
You can't.
Literally, how much money $1 billion is? You can't make that much money as a worker. You can only make that much money as a capitalist through owning things and then use that capital to make money off of other people, off of other people's labor.
Yeah.
You're basically sucking the surplus value off of the labor of all of your employees. That's how you make the money.
Right. Right.
So if I lived in a world where I could make $100,000 right now, I would be happy for the rest of my life because I could give to organizations that I want because I would probably be able to afford to do that. I could also support my children, save for their education, and buy my little, very little, modest-sized cabin in the mountains that I want. I want, 1,000 square foot, 2-bedroom cabin in the mountains. That's my dream home.
But what if you want to build rocket ships and electric cars and
Well, I'll
put
leave
satellites
that.
in
I'll
orbit
leave
and
that
shit?
to the other people. What I'm saying is that just give me and people a basic income so that we can contribute to society in a responsible way rather than just supporting the billionaires who give us peanuts. They're all just counting their beans in Washington, and they barely give us anything. Look at the current COVID bill. I'm saying, like, if every American had $100,000 a year, we could afford. Most people could afford, a modest-sized home or apartment or a condo or something like that. They could continue to live their dreams, put food on their table, always have a roof over their head, because those are rights. Have access to health care. Those are absolute rights. Let Jeff Bezos do whatever the hell he wants to do and become filthy rich and Elon Musk and make the space rockets. That's okay, because that's not my purview. That's not what I'm interested in. But I still need to make more money. And there's a way to do it. If the Ebenezers stop holding their money so close,
you don't point at Jeff Bezos. You point at the congressmen who create these laws that allow Jeff Bezos.
I know
to
you
become
point
who he is.
you point at corporations because of lobbyists. You don't point at congressmen anymore. Congressmen are in the pockets of every lobbyist who exists.
Of course they are. That's how it works.
So you have to point it at corporations. You think Amazon has a million lobbyists in Washington?
Who's passed laws right now and put UBI, like, even if it was just $1,200 a month to every American, UBI plus universal health care, one payer.
It's possible on the budget we have now.
You could have that and still have all of the innovation and space exploration.
Yeah.
And
that's my point.
And we poor people would continue to work and contribute to the economy.
That's my point. All those things are possible without pointing a finger at Jeff Bezos or something. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, but the rich people and the corporate heads and CEOs, they're the people to be pointed the fingers at. I mean, they are the ones that are stopping laws from being passed.
They're pulling the strings of the Congress people. I mean, to get them to why don't we have UBI? Why don't we have universal health care? Because all that money is going to corporations and military contractors and to fund fucking oil companies, imperialistic adventures overseas, and all kinds of crap. It's like it's in the American empire. It's not going to help our society and help people.
Yeah, those are yay and nay votes. Those all come down to yay or nay votes, and those yay or nay votes are made by people who are elected to make those yay or nay votes. Now, those people have decided to let themselves become corrupt and follow the lead of their highest paying lobbyist, but the power still presides in the people who are making those votes.
Yes, we elect, but the power does not reside in our vote.
Has the most money. Otherwise, we would already have all of these things. It's 2020. There's no reason why there's people, living in tents on the sidewalk a block from my house. Like, if we can put a rocket in space, if we can do that, okay, cool, but can we do this other thing first? Like, get everybody a house, get everybody food, then we can go into space. I think we can do this. We can do both.
100% agree.
Because votes matter. Your vote matters. But
I don't know why else a country yet should be going to space anyway.
Because space is awesome. And we might have to stop that asteroid one day.
The private companies do it.
But Elon Musk isn't having much success based on 2 days ago with his rocket.
Dude, that was insane.
It was insane.
Did you see that, Dave?
Yeah, it exploded.
He was
coming
down.
When it started its landing, though, when it turned from sideways to straight up and down, that was crazy. Blew my mind, man.
Here's my final point that I want to make about politics right now. The point is, your vote matters, but the real issue is we do not live in a binary political system any longer. And Democrats and Republicans have had their heads up their butts for a very long time, and so have the Libertarians, and so have the Green Party and everyone else.
Yeah, I'm party fluid. Man.
There is party fluid. I like that. The massive amounts of people in this country, registered independents and otherwise, really have this idea and this feeling that there's no one that truly represents them. but that's just the natural part of the system. Like, there's not going to be a single candidate that will always represent everything you believe in. You have to vote on the one that is closest to you. But the problem, I'm tired of voting for Democrats, and I vote Democrat every time. I'm tired of it. And,
You vote, Dave?
It's always the lesser of two evils.
It's always the lesser of two evils. We don't live in a binary environment anymore. We live in an environment which, like, I wish we had a parliamentary system.
Don't you think this recent past 4 years have helped shine more light on that issue?
I don't think it's going to change anything at all. But I'm a cynic.
I don't know, dude.
I think
There
we
are
need to get the
20
electoral
states that
the Senate.
Do what?
I was reading about the Senate the other day, like, because I forget shit. Like, I don't know. I was like, man, I don't even remember how the Senate really, why it exists, and like, to me, it's crazy. Like, every state has what, 2 senators? Is that right?
Yep, 2 senators.
And then, but
Not including the District of Columbia. They don't have statehood.
California has the same number of senators as Kentucky or
And
Montana.
North Dakota.
So it's
Like North Dakota and South Dakota. They
the
have
House
4
isn't like that,
senators.
though. The House is based on population.
Yeah, the House is based on population. So if something passes the House, that reflects the will of the people more than sort of any other government institution that we have currently.
Right.
But they are the
The Senate has to get through the Senate and the President, so it's got basically 2 stopgaps to prevent the
Checks
will
and
of the
balance.
happening if it doesn't if the elites don't want it to happen. They've got that out every single time. And when you got Mitch McConnell as the head of the Senate, he basically can just put his foot on the door and never even call a vote for anything, even if it
He
passes.
had an 18% approval rating. 18% approval rating. How did he
he's
get
terrible.
reelected?
Like, how is that a functioning democracy? You know?
Yeah,
It's
system's
not, because part of the way the system was set up is to have legitimate representation, like the Senate being set up to have legitimate representation for every part of the country. Like, there was no concept of, like, this northern part, this Midwest, this, is going to be so conservative.
You just
The
gotta look
system
small,
has-
man. See how
The
terrible
system
it
has
is.
outdated itself, because as we progress in time, people move to urban areas. So more people live in California. So there's how many, 7 million people in California or something like that? And they have 2 senators. And in Wyoming, there's 600,000 people in population, and they have 2 senators. That doesn't make any sense. 200 years ago, it
Doesn't
might have
make
made sense, but right now it makes 0 sense, and it has to be changed. But
Well,
it's
that's why
not.
the House is like that. The Senate's
The
like
House,
that.
the House is my
check
favorite.
and balance the House.
The House is my favorite portion of that.
It can literally shut down everything the House does. I don't really see it as a balance. It's more like a
Look at the Senate like it should be a.
like a balance. You think they would have like an equal amount of power, but the Senate has way more power as far as what actually gets passed into law than the
They
House.
have a majority leader, and then they have a minority. The
Yeah, look at
majority
them like
leader
these
can
Supreme
hold
Court
anything he wants
justices.
on his desk.
You got to look at them like Supreme Court justices of the state. Gotta. Like a
The Senate,
watered down version of it, basically. Yeah, they're just 2 representatives that hold a lot of, their 2 votes represent the entire state.
well, I mean, one thing that I think is going to fix this, talking about producing legislation that can actually help people, is term limits. Term limits are my biggest thing.
Age limits?
Term limits or age limits. Yes, please.
Biden's like 2,000 years old, I think.
Biden should not be our president. I'm sorry.
He died in 85.
Trump shouldn't have been our president. He was too old. I want more AOCs and from the House. On the opposite side, I'm certain Tea Partiers want more Matt Getzes. That's totally fine. I get it. But we need more young people in Congress. Dianne Feinstein is losing it. Chuck Schumer is an old fucking dinosaur. Like, he needs to be out. He's out of touch. Nancy Pelosi has no clue. These people are so far removed from the working class
Google
This is
Nancy
the problem
Pelosi
with the
real
Democratic
quick. See how old she is.
What?
Look her up and see how old she is.
Who?
Nancy Pelosi. She's in her 70s, right?
Yeah, she's in her 70s, but
She got some monster tits, by the way.
Dianne Feinstein's 87. Strom Thurmond was in the Senate till he was 100.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, that should not be happening.
Well, think about this. First, look her. I'm curious to see how old she is. If you look, but think about.
I'll look it up.
Most of these people are basically our grandparents.
Yeah,
age-wise.
I don't want that.
Now, picture your grandparents doing anything with technology.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's so many anecdotes. Yeah,
that's what we're dealing with. Like the day and age saying, you know what I mean? This day and age. These motherfuckers are living in a day and age that was 40 years ago.
They need to be out.
Their concept of reality is so old and outdated. It's retarded.
And I really think that's the problem, is that we need not just young people, but people who are more in touch, people who have their roots. They're more closely associated with their roots than they are with the machine of Congress. Because, yes, people have lost faith in the system.
And the boomer generation, the baby boomers are dying out, right?
Thankfully.
That is, what was that? What, 60,
I mean,
70, 80s, right?
I don't mean to be too like death oriented, but yes, thankfully they're dying out. They need to go, because we need people. She does not have her birth date listed on her Wikipedia.
I'm pretty sure she's a crypt keeper.
Just as much the problem as they're all old fucks, though, is also the problem of like who they represent. Like, there's not really many people in high levels of government that represent the interests of the average person. They represent the super wealthy. And
you think you can have a conversation like this with Nancy Pelosi, like a sit down, like?
Hell yes.
No.
Well, I'm not going to know as much as her. She's coming from experience, but yeah, I can talk about my experience.
No, you'd be putting up walls. She would have walls. You wouldn't have an honest conversation with her.
Okay. If that's what you're driving at, then no, there's absolutely no way. David,
getting to her, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, you're not going to get through those barriers that 100 years of politics has created. You know what I mean? The Klan put there in the 30s.
Never. You won't.
Yeah.
Because
sorry, didn't she say she was Indian or something at one point?
No, that was Elizabeth Warren.
Oh yeah. She's old too.
She's 80 years old.
80?
She's 80.
That's way too fucking old.
It's way too old. I'm sorry.
What'd you say, Dave?
I was going to say earlier you mentioned, just kind of change the subject to something you said earlier on the follow-up on. You mentioned that capitalism causes innovation.
Right.
And I really don't think it does as much as like they like to say it does, because it causes like if there's like a monopoly, like the giant corporation owns the entire, like basically the market on a thing, there's not going to be much innovation that's had. There's no like competition happening. Yeah,
it promotes greed.
And also, like, most of the innovation actually happens through like government-funded universities and like science that comes from like tax dollars. It's not coming from like the free market.
Those grants are given. They aren't just given willy-nilly.
Like the internet was mostly developed by the U.S. government and through publicly funded institutions.
Yeah, but the U.S. government just didn't throw money at random yahoos and say make the internet.
Well, no, of course not. But it wasn't like done by a private corporation that was just like, we need to develop this technology so that we can, innovate it. No, it was. They wouldn't have been able to. They basically took technology and ideas. Capitalism takes technology and ideas that are funded through science and government funding, and they commodify it, and they don't come up with the ideas themselves.
Which is a form of UBI, if you think about it.
What do you mean?
Government funding is a form of UBI.
I mean, it's like,
in any form.
Well, in what context are you speaking, though?
In any form.
Like, you're talking about like grant money to scientists who are trying to. No. Because there is an incredible like degree. I'm sorry, Dave. Go.
I was just going to say that you're kind of forgetting about the universal part of UBI. There, it's like government funded, but it's not
Universal.
Universal League is in everybody.
Yeah.
And it's also like an incredibly rigid process for young scientists or artists to petition the government for a grant. I mean, there's a lot of shit that has to go into that, and
Right.
it's overwhelming to a lot of people.
That's why the cream
and it's
rises
also
to the
very
top.
competitive. You know?
That's the point. It makes it competitive.
But it takes the government to step in to keep things competitive. Otherwise, you're going to end up with Disney owning literally everything, you know?
Yeah, greed. Capitalism promotes greed. Greed is the backbone of innovation.
I completely disagree.
No, I'm telling you, it gets shit done. Greed gets shit done.
It makes
does not get anything done.
The railroads, every major manufacturing accomplishment we've ever had, it was fucking greed.
Greed is the reason why shit doesn't run good. Greed is the reason why our healthcare system is
I agree with that.
extremely expensive but extremely inefficient. Like
I agree with that.
And it drives profits for shareholders. Those aren't the same thing.
It's the role of the government to harness greed.
And as we've seen, they're very
You're talking about taxation.
They can like put it all into like a bubble that just comes crashing down 2 years later.
Right, and that's where that's the role of the government, is to harness greed.
But greed comes from or leads to things like
you can be as greedy as you want in our country if you follow our rules. That's how it works. We just need to fix our rules. Be as greedy as you want. As long as we got good rules in place that make sure people that aren't greedy can still have a chance of survival, is how it should be.
I completely disagree that anything good comes from greed. That's inherently a negative trait.
It's just a negative word. You know what I mean?
When you say greed, what do you mean then? Because greed, the definition of it would mean
to dominate,
wanting more than you need.
Yeah.
For the sake of getting things. That doesn't
right.
At the expense of someone else.
Right. Yeah. I guess I'm an evil-natured person then, dude. Like, I know you both.
I don't see you as greedy, Justin.
Animals, dude.
Yeah, we're animals, but also animals possess an instinctual capacity for empathy.
Right.
And what I don't understand
sure their belly's full and they're safe.
Well, if my belly is full and I have a roof over my head and I get to do art, then what?
You can be compassionate.
Well, I can be compassionate just who I am by the person that I am. Compassion is
secondary to survival.
What is secondary? I'm sorry.
Everything's secondary to survival. Compassion is secondary to survival.
Yeah, but we don't live in that world anymore. We don't live in the hunter-gatherer world anymore.
It just looks different.
Doing what you can in order to survive and greed, like those aren't exactly the same motivation.
I agree.
Greed implies that you've already got everything you need and you want more.
Right.
Not just
but also, if I'm going to do something, I want to be best in the fucking world at it.
And like earlier we were talking about how like when I do art, I'm not doing it because I want to. Like that's a type of innovation on the creative. Yeah. I assume that somebody who's really into math or doing some kind of like other scientific field, that they're into that just as much as I'm into doing art and music. And to them, drives them to that inner, creativity and everything. It's not that they're just thinking constantly about, well, what can I do to make more money with this?
What's the difference between that and somebody who's just super into business?
Well,
being into business isn't in and of itself a passion, is it? That's just
of course it is.
If you can be into a specific business, but being just into business as a thing.
Well, I mean, it's a general term, but yeah, you can.
I think
whatever business you want to insert there.
I would think being into business just
there are people into like
because if you're into business, then you would assume that you're into money and you're into making as much of it as you possibly can.
Think about the stock exchange.
You assume that passion, if that is a passion for you, and I will acknowledge that it could be a passion for some, making money and being into business, but that passion itself is something that is immoral. Because
Don't fucking judge me.
No, but I don't see you as that.
Let's get Dave here. What's Dave saying?
I'm just saying we should abolish the stock market. It's bullshit.
Yeah,
It's basically just a big pyramid scheme.
I agree. And I think that's where we're getting off course here. You guys think I'm disagreeing with a lot of things you're saying, but I agree
No,
with
I
all
actually,
of it.
I don't think that.
I think I'm just more realism, I guess. You know what I mean?
I think it's more of a. I think it's just more of a semantic misunderstanding.
Yeah.
I just recognize and appreciate the evil in the world.
Or you don't think I do?
Yeah, I think you do. But I see it as a
Kind of what we're talking about.
it's a double-edged thing. It's sometimes pretty fucking positive.
Evil is positive?
Sometimes. Desire to be better than somebody else. You know what I mean?
It depends on your context.
Yeah. I mean, that's inherently evil, wanting to be better than your fellow man, isn't it?
It depends on what you mean by better. We mean like
However you choose to define it. Whatever it is you're into.
better at a thing than
the
somebody
best
else.
artist in the world, the best musician in the world, the best mathematician, the best whatever. The desire to be better.
I don't, in my experience, I've never, in speaking of artistry, and Justin, I don't think you're disagreeing on most of our points here, but I do want to say, in most of my experience, artists that I have met throughout my life, they don't want to be the best in the world.
I don't really see it as a hierarchy. That you can't compare all art with each other and say, well, this is better than this.
Right.
It's just about an
Agreed.
like,
We
Being
create
a subset, though.
There's always a subset.
Yeah. Like comedy, for example. There are tiers, there are levels, just like every other form of art. You know, you put the time in, you get to the top, and once you're to the top, you look around, you have peers that you respect, and you're not competing against. You don't feel a competitive nature against. You actually celebrate what they do.
Well, you're getting that there, but it seems like you're kind of conflating like personal drive and like wanting to get better with sort of greed and like sort of like wanting to harm other people. Like my drive isn't gauged by wanting to stomp on other people. It's wanting to be better than I am currently, to improve myself.
Right. But how do you define what that? I mean, how do you like
That doesn't have to
set
be
that parameter without comparing yourself to others?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
How do you set that parameter if you don't compare yourself to others?
You can compare yourself to others, but I don't think that me getting better at doing something requires, you know, hurting somebody else or doing it at somebody else's expense.
Of course not. Yeah, you don't. You know that. Of course not.
Defined as evil or greed, that's just drive. That's just motivation.
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah, but there are. You got to admit there are people who are driven by those sort of feelings.
For sure.
And that's not always a horrible thing.
When you're motivated by good things and bad things, but personally, I don't think being motivated by greed is a good thing.
I don't necessarily think it is either, but I think it gets shit done sometimes.
For who?
Yeah, but for you.
Not me in particular.
Well, no. Yeah. But I mean, it's a selfish motivation.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're like on a desert island and one dude hoards all of the coconuts, are you going to be like, good for him, you know, got his? Or are you going to like try to fucking kill him and spread the coconuts out to everybody else?
It depends on how desperate I am for coconuts, I guess. But, you know, I could find something else I'm into. Hermit crab.
Sand. Or
making real
salt
jelly
water.
I guess my point is like.
It also takes like a privilege to be able to look at the world as like this thing where you can just be like, well, I'm going to create this company, and if it fails, oh well, I'll try something else. Like you have to be kind of born into wealth and privilege to be able to like do something beyond just trade your labor for wages in order to survive, you know?
Or just willing enough to take the risk necessary.
Well, I mean,
about having the literal material ability to do it. Like somebody who's working, you know, 60 hours a week with 2 jobs so they can pay their rent, and they're still behind and in credit card debt, doesn't have the capital to start a new business or the time.
I agree.
And why shouldn't they have the capital to do it? I mean,
I don't agree that they shouldn't.
Yeah.
You can't just put it down to like they don't have the will to do it. Like,
Oh, of course not.
the will to do things, they just literally can't.
Right.
And
I
wouldn't
agree.
our society be better if we had more people?
Of course.
Sorry, Dave. Dave, go ahead.
Sorry. Elon Musk would not be like sending rockets up to explode if he wasn't like, born into wealth. Like his dad owned fucking emerald mines in apartheid in South Africa. And
Right.
he was born like super wealthy. He's just had money all his life to just pour into various random ideas that he had. Like nobody, normal person has had level of just like ability to fuck around.
Right, but you admit there's levels beneath our levels too.
Economically?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course.
Right.
There's always someone that has it worse off than us, but that's
the beauty of capitalism.
That's not the beauty of capitalism.
Yeah, it is kind of.
There's nothing beautiful about it.
It's the rules that are broken.
It's beautiful that Elon Musk gets to drive around in private jets, but like people have to sleep on the sidewalk. Like, you think it has to be that way in order for them to?
No, I don't. At all. I don't think that way at all. I don't think it has to be that way at all. I think
every Sunday night. This is just an anecdotal thing, but what it kills me. We have a large homeless community in Boulder and Fort Collins and Lafayette because we're a pretty rich area. And every Sunday night, I drive. I go drive down to pick up the kids and bring them back to my house. And for the past few months, and there's this one guy. He's probably 70 years old, and he's on an oxygen tank, and he's sitting out right at an intersection, and I always hand him a couple dollars. I have to. Every time I see him, because there's something in my heart that feels, when I look at him, is like, that fucking sucks.
Yeah, but you don't have
what
to eliminate
that man
Elon
has
Musk
to do.
Provide for that person.
What?
You don't need to eliminate Elon Musk in order for that person to have what they need. That's my point.
I'm not trying to eliminate Elon Musk.
We can celebrate Elon
we
Musk.
We need people like Elon Musk. Okay, let me phrase it this way. We need people with privilege to do the privileged things. But we also need people throughout this entire country to be held up to a standard that they all want to achieve themselves. Because I think innately within people is
the rules. That's the example.
Let me finish my point. Innately within people is a desire to create and to in some way be relevant. That doesn't mean all of us have egos and we want to be the best and the greatest of something. We just want to have something to say. We want to be a part of the conversation. And there's so many people economically who are not part of the conversation and have no capability to become part of that conversation because they are so excluded from the process. Be it taxes. I agree with your point on that 100%. Taxes, come on. People who make over 400,000, please, Joe Biden, please, let's win those 2 Senate Georgia races, please, because then maybe that will pass. People who make over 400,000 a year don't need that much money. Just get over it. Because the fact is, if you own a roof over your head or you rent a roof over your head, you don't need another one. Stop. I know so many people who have second homes and do all this crap because I deal with millionaires with the stupid church that I work for, and I hate it.
So we can both agree it's the rules that are broken.
But the rules haven't been set. That's the problem.
Yeah, they have because they use those rules to take advantage of their situation and create.
Okay, the rules have been set, but there's loopholes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The rules are broken.
Laws, or do you mean like some sort of unspoken code, or what do you mean by rules?
Taxation laws, monopoly laws, all that.
Yeah, labor laws, things that once these giant companies.
Those are the rules. OSHA guidelines, all that shit. Those are all.
Yeah.
I mean,
hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
Oh, you're all good.
You mean call the fire department?
I miss Dave.
I love not disagreeing, but also having a disagreement. It's awesome.
dude, because we're friends,
Yeah, it's great,
and
and I don't
like,
disagree with you.
like I feel no animosity towards you. I feel no negative. Like, you guys are fucking awesome, and I like, that's what I think it really gets back to in some sense. Like, we need to stop just putting filters in front of each other's faces and filters in our heads. Because if you just talk to people, if you just try to like talk this stuff out, you ultimately form some sort of common zone that you can live in. And, I think we can all agree here that the rules are messed up.
Yeah.
And the rich need to be taxed significantly. When being on Medicaid, I don't pay federal income taxes
I think
because
the point is
I make less than $27,000 a year.
who
Okay,
makes the gold
so
makes the rules is the problem.
Yeah,
but the thing is, when I made more than that, being married or whatever, our tax rate was over 20%. Why?
Broken rule.
Broken rule. Not when even Mitt Romney, in the past presidential election, Mitt Romney said his tax rate was at 13%. When I read that, I was like, holy shit, I wish I had been taxed at 13%.
Broken rules.
Broken rules.
Tomatoes. You name it. Yeah, man. Fuck all that shit.
People have potential. People have the capability to create. People have the innate desire to create, whatever
You
it
want to
is,
sit down?
whatever context it is. And I'm fucking tired of people not paying people to create.
I
I'm
agree.
not just talking about me. I'm talking about, and Dave, and Justin, many people who live in this category. It's fucking time that those who create influence, and you have to put artists in that category, start getting paid.
I wish I could
And
sit around and write jokes for a living. You know what I mean?
That's a UBI. Oh, dude, I'm not a comedian, but I live in a very dark world, so maybe that would work.
Yeah, dude, I'd fucking love it.
Let's do
Be
it.
a lot more content available to view, which is something I've been bitching about. Content is lacking, bro. Like, it's fucked.
How do you mean? I'm going to press you on that. How do you mean content's lacking?
Movies aren't getting made. There was a big lull in movies being made, shows being produced.
How does that to do with content for comedy, though?
Yeah, comedy specials, comedy. There's not much
Oh, no,
going on.
I just thought, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about your personal comedy.
No. I'm just saying in the world in general, like as far as being able to consume other people's content is not really being created at the speed it was pre-pandemic.
It's not, but there are a few voices out there.
Yeah, I agree.
But, yeah,
I'm just
Kevin Hart.
Running through them too fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a data junkie. I'm addicted to data, bro. I gotta have it, and I'm running out.
We got 110 years worth of cinema to go through.
I feel like I've got a pretty good chunk of it in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For real.
I feel like sometimes there's literally an unlimited amount of things to consume out there, and I'll never be able to watch it all in my lifetime.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
I'll sit there and stare at the queue on Netflix for an hour trying to decide what to watch.
Dude, me too. Can I ask you this, Dave?
Yeah.
Like, how do you manage that? I mean, because you're a creator, a constant creator. I follow you on Facebook all the time. Yeah. I love your stuff. Like, how do you manage consuming versus creation? Like, because I want to sit in front of Netflix and watch stuff. I want to go on. YouTube has actually been my friend lately, going on, listening to different musical artists and watching. I've been watching the Graham Norton show lately because I like British TV. But that kind of stuff. Like how do you balance that? Because I feel like I've had a troubled time balancing that consumption versus creation.
any balance as far as just finding enough time for both, or
Time
like
management.
Yeah, time management. Well, I mean, kids aside and all that stuff, like if I have free time, how do I am I more prone to creation or am I prone to consumption? And it depends upon the day, but you know,
depends on the mood. A lot
yeah.
of times, I feel like once I've like worked on an art project or some music for a little while, and I've kind of done everything and done for the evening, then maybe I'll want to like watch a movie or watch a couple episodes of a TV show or something.
I think that's healthy.
All I want to do is sit on the couch and watch, 7 episodes of a show in a row.
Me too. I feel the same thing. I feel that, but it goes the other way. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to watch any TV, and I just like stay up.
A little bit of ADD or ADHD or something sometimes too. Because sometimes I just like, think that I want to watch a show or like play a video game or something, but my attention span, I just won't be able to like pay attention or get into it. My mind will wander, and so it's almost easier for me to kind of draw or do something creative rather than have to like focus my attention on a long form thing.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that answer. Because it feels very real to me. I don't know. How about you, Justin? I mean,
Oh yeah, I mean,
like how do you manage time? Based on what you
I
want
don't
to
have
do.
any time really. This is the only time I have. Basically, it's more of a making time. You know what I mean? Like, I can't turn my brain off, so it's like, okay, if I'm not going to be able to turn this brain off, I might as well do something I enjoy doing during those 2 to 4 a.m. hours. You know what I mean? Because that actually helps me sleep eventually a lot better than just, like Dave said, going from watching a YouTube clip to playing a video game to, short attention span type stuff that you don't really have the attention span for, but you're trying to fill that void to get your brain to exhaust.
Yeah.
That's
the thing about sleeping, though. I mean, it's getting your brain to just stop working for a second. That's the hardest thing.
Like, I got the fucking elephants coming out, the fucking guys in the ball and the motorcycles. You know what I mean? Fucking shit,
you're way beyond counting sheep.
Yeah, shit goes down between like 1 and 4 a.m. in my brain. It's a fucking shit show. Shit show.
Time to sleep. I usually sleep pretty good. I sleep through the night most nights.
Right. Yeah. And often, most of the time when I don't sleep, it's because I didn't make time to do something I wanted to do, or you know what I mean? It's like if I can just fill that void with
something nagging.
Yeah, something I can enjoy.
Sometimes
it is playing video games. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You ever have the problem where, like, no matter what you're doing, you feel like you should be doing something else, like there's something more productive or more like engaging, or you should? I don't know, like. I feel like a lot of times I have a hard time getting into an activity because I feel like I should be doing another thing that's more important or whatever, even if I don't even know what the thing would be necessarily.
Right. That's why I've had so many jobs over the years. I can't. Once I stop learning or like feel stagnant in the brain, I'm fucking done. Might as well just fucking call me quits. You know what I mean? I don't have no interest in it anymore because that's where my brain goes. Is like, well, now I've soaked it all in. Now my brain's going to focus on other stuff I would rather be doing because I don't have anything else to learn here or nothing else piques my interest.
Is there any activity that either of you gentlemen do which produces a state of stillness at the end of the day? And I say the day, I use that very loosely because I'm a night owl too, and I frequently don't go to bed before 3 a.m. But just because I can't sleep. But like, is there any particular activity that has produced consistent results?
I mean, pussy usually works. Just saying.
Okay, I'm out of that discussion.
But you will. I mean, like I'll get up. I'll start working 9. So 9:30, I may fucking think about playing some Call of Duty or something, and then it'll fucking be 2 o'clock in the morning, like, oh shit, I never played. Now I need to, and I'll get 30 minutes in, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. But I couldn't turn my brain off until I did that because it was a thought 10 hours earlier. You know? It's a little shit like that.
Yeah.
And pussy helps.
Hey, that's cool. Whatever.
Dave?
What was the question again?
Is there anything that consistently gives you solace at the end of a day or a night to provide sleep? Like, is like, yes. Cheers to that.
Yeah, but also, like, I don't know, like, if I'm working on art or doing something creative that kind of consumes my attention,
Yeah.
that to me is like the ultimate form of meditation, where like I kind of get in the zone doing something and almost forget where I am or who I am or that I'm a person. You know, you're not really self-reflecting anymore. You're just actively engaged in doing a thing. That's the state to be in for me. That's the most relaxing. That's usually achieved by doing something creative. I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
music. Kind of
I feel the same way when I'm learning.
like all of my attention, and I'm participating in it as well. It's not just passive.
Yes. Participation, because learning is participation.
Yeah, it's getting lost in it. You know what I mean? That's
getting
the thing.
I mean, learning is the act of creation. You're creating new neurons in your brain. I mean, even at this age, we can create new connections. It might take a little bit longer, but we create connections in our brain constantly. You know, ideally, if we were 26, we'd still be creating like significant connections, but none of us are 26 anymore, and that's
also
okay.
manage to kill a few every night. You know what I mean?
It's a constant cycle of creation and destruction in my brain, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I always try to enjoy the destruction part, though. Sometimes I do them both simultaneously. It's great.
Trying to get away from the destruction part.
Well, you know, not like terrible destruction. We're just talking minor. Yeah. You know,
just little
down.
minor infractions.
Using the endocannabinoid system to slow down the neural firings from one pathway to the other. That's all. Sometimes 100%. It helps the perception and deep learning techniques anyway. You're able to convert things to long-term memory a little easier. So it's actually an aid versus a negative impact.
Mm-hmm.
Greens, beans, tomatoes, you name it. You know that song at all? That song's been in my head for fucking. I gotta find it. Talk amongst yourself while I look for this. Don't stare at me while I look at my computer. Makes me uncomfortable to know you're looking at. Oh my god.
Is that Meryl? That's Meryl.
Is that a tapestry behind you, dude? I like that. Dude, you look like a boy for sure.
So, how is Molly or Hilda doing? I'm just curious. I haven't talked to you guys in a while. Hmm.
I'm gonna.
I miss you too. I miss being there. Actually, Dave, I haven't said this yet. Assuming the coronavirus is a little more under control, and I know it might mean we might not be able to meet even then, but based on how that virus is doing, but I'm probably going to be there in Louisville in the end of May.
Tell me you haven't heard that, dude. Come on.
I have not heard that.
It's fucking amazing.
I have not heard that.
Well, now you have, and you're going to listen to it again. You should anyway, because it's fucking great.
Okay.
She's just saying greens, beans, potatoes.
I mean, she's naming all my favorite things.
It's fucking fantastic. I apologize for interrupting you there, dude. I have to enforce my own thoughts sometimes.
Please do. We all
Negative
have to.
thing about myself. I have to like force people to also share the same thoughts I'm having sometimes. Whether I'm a little abrasive.
Yeah, so actually, Dave, my Lyra and Charlie, but Lyra in particular, have developed a pretty substantial relationship with their cousins, and and my mom, and so it's put me in a position of extreme discomfort. But I've supported it, and Lyra is my angel. Lyra is my she's my well, I'm looking at the righteous
She's awesome,
gemstones
dude.
here. She's my gemstone. I'll delete that so I can't think about it. But Lyra is the extrovert that I always wanted to be, and I haven't talked to her about the church at all. And I know it'll come up at some point. The second my parents pray in front of her or something like that, because I've maintained that with them at least, put my foot down on that. But at any rate, the point I'm getting at is it's I think my parents are getting older. My mom's not doing very well in health. She's about to go on oxygen. She was diagnosed with COPD and all that stuff. And so I'm thinking, maybe they should see them one more time. So that's where we're going at the end of May when they're out of school.
Okay.
And just
you don't need to focus on that shit, dude. I'm telling you.
What do you mean?
Like my kids are exposed to it. It doesn't change. It hasn't changed them at all, dude. You know what I mean?
In what context? I don't follow.
I mean, I have family that's super religious too. We hold hands and say prayer at Thanksgiving and holidays and blah blah blah.
Oh no, they understand the context of prayer. They understand very much that I'm an atheist. I mean, Lyra, she's 7 years old. She knows I'm an atheist.
Yeah, but I don't think you got to worry about your kids getting converted if that's what you're hinting at there or something. You know what I mean? Like exposed.
I still have to worry about it, but only because I know how much it meant for me when I was converted at a young age. Dave knows that too, but
yeah, but you weren't born until were you? You were
no.
Converted.
We were converted. We in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It was. You remember The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, this shit's still on.
Frank Simpson. He was a vacuum cleaner salesman, and he was living in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And he knocked on our door trying to sell us a vacuum cleaner when I was 3 years old. And my parents invited him into their house because we were totally poor at that point, from what I hear. We were not eating food, apparently. And Frank Simpson gave us like $2,000 of gift cards for grocery stores. And that was
the hook.
They were like that was the thing that that was the hook. Exactly, Justin. That was the hook. My parents were like, wow, this Frank Simpson is so good. And he's talking about William Branham a lot. And he's saving our asses right now. So we should consider that this is a gift from God. And so they converted. That was the start of our story.
Desperational, dude, man. Desperation's a scary fucking thing.
I think it's probably a lot different for a child raised, with their parents being believers. Like Lyra hasn't really been around, had that indoctrination. Like, even though she's exposed to people who believe it, she hasn't had the indoctrination that you and I had. So I don't know that it would have the same effect on her to hear about it necessarily.
Honestly,
it's not her normal.
It's not her normal, and I do believe that she's going to have a more positive outlook on spiritual life, and because I draw on many different forms of inspiration, and she does too. She doesn't see because she's been to church with me, to the American Baptist Church, where I play the organ, but I'm music director there, and we have created a program where we do Tool on Sundays. We've played Tool. We've had 5 Sundays where Tool was the featured band. And with the band that I have, we do Tool. And like I say that to my, non-religious friends and whatnot, only to say that there are things you can do in that environment. I hate that environment. But I also know that when I'm teaching Lyra, this is a proud dad moment, but just showing Lyra that, it's all just a bunch of bullshit. You have to acknowledge yourself. You have to seek inspiration for yourself, because in some sense we are part of this whole web of life where we draw inspiration and bring it into the center, and then we talk about it and figure out context and stuff like that. And it's the fucking filters like religion and politics that get in the way of communication.
Cloud the signal of Indra's net.
Do what?
It clouds the signal of Indra's net.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. I don't. You have to. I don't even know how to explain it, because I get emotional every time I talk about it. But with my daughter, I know that she is a questioning soul, and that is something that I continue to instill in her. Always question. Always ask the question, because that is at its root scientific. Always understand the science in the sense that feelings are not facts. Facts are facts. And we can talk about spirituality in a certain context, but you have to understand that anytime we talk about spirituality and religion or anything like that, it is not a fact. This is something that people feel. And, so I don't have any fears of Lyra going into the church. Although I did when she was first born. And I wrestled with that quite a bit. Even Charlie, when he was first born. But, at the start, I just told my parents, when Lyra was born, I was like, if you want a relationship with them, and it was painful. It was really painful. But if you want a relationship with my daughter, and you want a relationship with my son, then you are to never talk about Branham.
Yeah.
And I said that. And they agreed. I have no idea why they agreed, but they agreed to that. And it has yet to happen.
You know why they agreed, dude? They looked at that little girl and were like, yeah, whatever it takes, bro.
Because Lyra's magical.
I mean, that's the beauty of it.
Kids are magical. It's like Rachel Carson talks about, from Silent Spring and her book, The Sense of Wonder. Rachel Carson, one of my favorite authors, like instilled within a child is a sense of wonder. And if the only thing that is going to keep that sense of wonder present for their entire life is the companionship of another adult who keeps that sense of wonder within them. Like, religion does not provide that sense of wonder. Wonder in religion is bullshit. The sense of wonder is provided by the universe before our face that we don't understand. And that's what Lyra is starting to understand now, and it's so beautiful to see that in her. Like, she talks so much about, there are times she's like, I really love my friend Kara. And I'm like, that's beautiful. Embrace that love and see where it goes. And I wish I had parents, and she's 7, and I'm not indoctrinating her at all. I'm just saying, explore your feelings. And I wish I had parents that said that.
Yeah.
Because, now I just feel like I'm a damaged person.
Aren't we all?
The way we suffer some kind of lifelong damage. I really do.
Yeah, that's the fear of being a parent, is doing something that's going to cause lifelong damage. That's not, I think, all of our worst fears.
But none of us know what the hell we're doing as parents.
No, dude, I'm winging this
But
shit
in
like
the end,
crazy.
the fucking only thing you have to do as a parent is just give them the space to be who they are.
As long as you want them to be their own person and you encourage them to like pursue their passions, I don't think it can do a lot of harm to them. It's just when you try to mold them into what you want them to be, and you have a very specific of idea of who they should be, and anything else is going to disappoint you. That's when it gets into like.
Amen.
Yeah, I think a lot of people try to overcomplicate it. Like it's pretty simple. You just keep them alive, help them survive, and
Well, it's
give them
pretty
a
simple.
safe space.
Feed,
You know what I mean?
feed,
A
feed
place
them
where they feel safe and
appropriately.
loved. Is not
I
hard.
have 3 points. Feed them appropriately. Don't indoctrinate. And 3, let them be who they are. You know, and if you do that, your kids are going to come back and say, I love you, Daddy. I love you, Mommy. You know, you were always there for me. You know, and
You old bastard.
But that can also be like translated to other aspects of social life with friends and with strangers that we meet on the street. Like, let's stop trying to put people in boxes. Let's just see where I'm driving. I don't know.
Yeah.
We got to stop trying to think people are one way or the other.
Be what you want to see in the world.
People are different, man. We're
That's
going to
simple.
disagree.
Be what you want to see in the world. That's all.
Yeah, that's a really hard thing to do. But I understand that.
Yeah, as far
And
as
I
like
think
character, you know what I mean?
I think it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. We got a different scenario, I think, because there's so many of us. We're basically a tribe, a clan. So we do have the
Tribe
occasional
called Chum.
Yeah, we do have the occasional conversation about it's us versus the world type motivational speeches. You know what I mean? Like having each other's back. Basically it's a reinstilling of you're safe with us. We're gonna support you no matter what type thing. But it's like
No matter what.
it's skewed as I mean, we are the Chumleys. We're gonna do whatever it takes to support each other. We got each other's back regardless of whatever. You know what I mean? That's kind of the thing.
That's what I want to do with my family. You know, and well, I'm not going to get into all the personal stuff, but you know, that's what I try to do with my kids. You know, and it's hard. It gets complicated, but at the end of the day, that's, you know, every night when I put Lyra to bed, scratch her back for a minute, and we talk about life. We talk about the day. And as long as you have that open form of communication, which is something I didn't have, and I don't think you had, Dave, either. I mean, a lot of it, Justin, you didn't have it either. Open form of communication with your parents. I mean, that's like something that is invaluable to a child.
What's your opinion as a non-father in this scenario, Dave? I don't know. You haven't really been exposed to Ryan's fatherhood too much, but you've been around me and my kids. What are your How are we doing? How am I doing?
I think if you're not teaching your kids that the world is going to probably end any day, and if they haven't accepted Jesus Christ as their personal Savior, they're going to be left behind in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, and they're probably not going to see adulthood, so there's no reason to create any kind of future for yourself, because obviously the world's going to end and Jesus is going to come back like any day now, and nothing else matters. As long as you're not instilling that kind of fear into your kids, I think it's always doing all right.
Yeah. I think
Amen.
So I'm doing all right. Like a B plus.
Justin, you're doing an A. Come on. Come on, you're A plus.
Fucking awesome, man.
I think they're fucking awesome.
You're A plus of it. Yeah, come on. You're smoking a.
I've been around these other parents, bro. They suck. You know what I mean? Like once your kids get in school, you start being around their friends' parents. You're like, oh my god, these people are stupid.
Yeah.
These idiots everywhere, dude. They're idiots everywhere, and they make kids, and that's fucking weird. And their kids are usually idiots too. It's true. Stupid breeds stupid, man. I don't know why that's like I guess I broke, the whole break the cycle shit. You know what I mean? Like, I was abused, so I'm not going to abuse
Yeah,
type shit. It also needs to apply to stupid.
I'm trying to break that cycle with my family, but it's not working.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, but you don't hear people talking about breaking the stupid cycle.
A
Yeah.
lot of it can be learned, like if a kid is raised a certain way where like they aren't encouraged to kind of explore intellectual pursuits or to have any kind of self confidence,
Right.
creativity, and they're just kind of like encouraged to want to be a certain way,
What's your opinion on giving each other a hard time?
I don't think like smartness is as much like intelligence is genetic all that much as much as it is just environmental and how they're raised.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Most people have the potential to develop into like really intelligent, amazing person,
So you both had siblings. Ryan, you had a younger brother?
Yeah.
How was it how do you feel about sibling rivalry and sibling like just ragging on each other?
I
Good thing, bad thing?
mean, I ragged on my brother. I remember the last rag that I had on my brother. And then that's when he went back into the church. That was bad.
Bad one. Bad rag.
Bad rag. No, I mean, I don't think we had sibling rivalry unless you take the context of the church, because I was pretty devoted.
How many? There's Isaac. You got two sisters, right?
And my brother was not devoted. He was not. He was up there on the roof shooting BB guns at people, doing stuff crazy that I always secretly sort of wanted to do, but I didn't do, and because I was reading my Bible throughout middle school.
Did you make fun of him?
Oh, I was a tattletale on him.
No, I mean, did you make fun of him to his face? Like, how did you interact with him?
No,
did you
because
ever give him grief?
Because that was never me. I mean, I don't have a great memory, but.
What about you, Dave?
My brothers and I fought all the time, like especially me and Isaac. We would get in wrestling matches, and I mean, this is when we were little, not when we were adults. Yeah, we fought all the time. I don't know about rivalry so much, but definitely just like,
Yeah, I think rivalry is the wrong term there. But
I left the church, and my brother didn't.
Yeah,
and I think that just defined our relationship and it will define our relationship for the rest of our lives.
I think I think my kids are comfortable with each other that they are comfortable giving each other like the hardest of times.
Do
what?
You know what I mean?
Dave?
Justin, did you ever meet my brother Isaac? I don't know if
yeah, dude, he was in my grade. Yeah, he was my age. That's
he went home at one point. I
want to say like 6th, 7th grade, if I were to remember correctly, somewhere around there. He stopped going to regular school.
Yeah. Like Brian, you mentioned Joe was kind of like the wild one, and then he kind of when he got older, went back to the church. Isaac was kind of the same way. He was always the one getting into trouble in the neighborhood. Getting into fights with the neighborhood.
Yeah, that's how I remember him. So when he like disappeared, I didn't know he was homeschooled. I just thought he moved. I didn't know you or any other toy, so I just assumed he moved. And then later on in life, I found out he like went to the church. I was like, "Whoa, that doesn't seem like him."
He worked for the Voice of God, so that's his
yeah.
whole life in that bubble.
And my brother too. I mean, my brother is. I think Isaac and Joe are still pretty much like in tune at the VOG. Joe is like head of video production now.
Like we were in 3rd grade together, and he was fucking wild as shit. He was awesome.
He used to like have to protect like Samuel and Amos from him. He would like lock them in the closet or like lock them in the toy box and sit on it until they scream. He's crazy.
See, my kids don't do that. I mean, they don't do that, but they will like knock each other down pegs. Like,
but I also,
there's no thinking you're awesome around here for very long. You know what I mean? like you start bragging about being awesome, it doesn't last very long before somebody's like, "You suck."
I think humility is a good character trait.
Yeah, our kids are really quick about, like reminding each other they're not the shit.
But I mean, I grew up admiring my brother and wishing I was more like him, wishing I could let go, wishing I could be the kid on the top of my house shooting a BB gun at random people walking down the street. I had that feeling,
Momo.
because I never, because I never felt like I could do that. I always felt like, oh, I should be reading my Bible, or I should not be doing bad things, because then I will have to apologize, and then I'll have to go up to the altar, and that is so unnerving, and I can't do that anymore. I'm so tired of going up to the altar every Sunday.
He was going to promote it.
Did you ever have the feeling when you were a kid, Ryan, and you were really devout like that you were kind of taking everything more seriously than the people around you, and kind of wondering why that was? Like, even the people who apparently believed it just as much as you do. Like, did you ever kind of feel like, why isn't everyone taking this as like deadly serious as I am?
Sort of like this pandemic.
Dave, I'm laughing and crying at the same time, but you totally defined my childhood experience right there. That is absolutely 100% what it was. And I like it. I didn't understand why no one took it as seriously as I did.
Like, if this is real, why isn't this all we're doing and talking about? Like, if this is as real as you said. But then, like, I almost feel like with a lot of people in the message, it's something they can kind of put on pause. They're not really engaging with it unless they're at church or whatever.
Which is something very much appropriate of Christianity in general. Like, you go to Sunday service and then you live the rest of the week. But I took it to heart, and I think you did too, and a lot of Joshua Carter, you remember him? He took it to heart all the time. Like, throughout every single day, he was just reading your Bible, studying. I remember, were you on that trip to Pennsylvania, to that youth camp with